Okay, just gotta get the camera up. And hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I present to you the Studio Series 09 Thundercracker. And as some of you may know, he's an exclusive to Toys R Us, and you're probably wondering, did you ship him from Japan? Because that's one of the few places that Toys R Us didn't shut down at the time. And I say, no, I got it at Trader's Village, for a very cheap price actually. Anyways, as you can see, his design is fairly similar to Starscream. As I say, the only similarity is really just his face, actually. That's basically just it. Look, just the face. Everything else is kind of, brand new. He's just a remold of Nitro Zeus, so of course he has like a ballista-like weapon, I assume an ion cannon, triple missiles, and 2 chain gun-mounted shoulder cannons. And he looks very, very insect-like. He looks like a spider with the 8 eyes and the mandible. And I'm glad that he doesn't have the thin chicken-like legs and the very thin arms with a big body. Glad they didn't do that for this guy, because then, who would really want it at that point? I'm just serious. Who would really want it at that point? Like, really, who would you really want? Who would really want that? Alright, on to articulation, as you can see. There's more of a hinge joint right here, so it can go out. Due to the shoulder also being on a hinge joint, it can go pretty far out. Rotate 360 degrees. A bend at the elbow, which is 90 degrees, of course, and a bicep rotation. And the hand doesn't really do anything, leaves fold in and out, but that's more for transformation, of course. And of course, same thing, shoulder around, bicep rotation, bend at the elbow, and yet again. And there's basically kind of like a wrist joint, but that's also, again, for the transformation. Same with this, it can go inside out, which I guess could be useful if you're wanting to hold a gun or anything. But he already has a massive amount of guns. And right here on the back of his jetpack, you can see there's a hinge joint right here, hinge joint right here. And his head is very, very weird. He has a ball joint at the ball joint on his neck. And also, he's strangely enough a headmaster, basically. Look. You can just unplug his head, which I assume was from Nitro Zeus, which I believe had the same function, so you can, like, rip off his head, like that scene where he died. So, Thundercracker can, I guess, get blown up. And his legs, there's a thigh rotation. The legs can go forward, that far, and back, not that far. You can do the full fit, and of course that will happen because the line's a little finicky. You can do the full splits, which will hurt. If you're flying and you just go, that would hurt a lot. Then the knee plates are kind of annoying, like they're able to fold in, but I don't know why they're really there. He has a bend at the knee. It's okay. And then his leg, and then his foot can just go back and forth, but that's, again, more for transformation. And as you can see, some of his joints, a lot of them are more for transformation. Which kind of sucks for this guy. But to be honest, he looks fairly good. He looks good for what he is. For the price that he is, it's okay. His accessories, he only comes with 2 of the missiles, but in terms of weaponry, definitely. Size, yes. Pulsability, I give it 10. I'm just going to write this. Pulsability is an 8 out of 10. Accessories, 1 out of 10. And of course, design, 9 out of 10. The reason why I didn't give 10 out of 10, I do not like that spider-like face. And a lot of you may not know this, but I have, arachnophobia, which arachnid means spider, so, yeah. Yeah, so that's gonna deduct a point. In terms of playability, pretty good, but in terms of the bulkiness is gonna get in the way of something like the playability, because look, bulky. Not only that, but for me, this joint just keeps falling apart whenever you move the legs. And this does never want to stay tabbed in, really. It never wants to stay tabbed in no matter what I do. This thing just, flop around. Paint job is also fairly good. I definitely give that a 10 out of 10. And of course, we're going to do transformation, and depending on how the transformation feels and looks, I'm going to have to rate the transformation, which is, oh boy, don't got some good news for this guy. First of all, you want to just flip in the hand and push in the gun. For the other side, you just want to flip in these parts And then you just want to, just kind of have it out, and then just bring these panels down. The same with the other side, basically. As you can see right here, there's, dang it. I'm not good at this. There's a tab that will go into a slot right here. You can see it just locks in like that. Then, all you want to do is kind of like lift up the head and fold that up. I prefer to just turn around for just later on. And then I just want to, break apart the legs and then just flip that one. See, this one's on a hinge, so you can be able to bring this one forward. Make sure that's tucked in there. And of course, this is just gonna tab on and just bring it back into like a position like that. Same with this one. You just kind of want to rotate those sides. Just fold in the feet. And for the arm, you just want to bring it in and make sure that this panel, make sure the shoulder goes over that panel like that. And of course, we're just gonna have to take off these. This pops off a lot, so that's another complaint. Durability, it's more of a 9 out of 10. That's the only part. And just fold out the wings, really. I forgot to show this side. So to show this side, just kind of want to fold it up like that. Plug this from here, fold it, and then just bring out that extra panel. And just want to, and then you just kind of want to. Yeah, this guy's a little finicky with the cock. That just always wants to unplug. And for the legs, you just want to rotate them back. And in terms of this part right here, you just want to fold this back, and there's a tab with the slot in there. You just want to bring that down, really, and then just tab it in. Just fold out that last flip. And of course, this part never wants to tab in, so I'll try my best to keep it tabbed in. Best you want to do is just try to get to this tab right here on each side with this little slot. Basically, we kind of want to get that to tab in, which is almost impossible for me for some reason. Because for some reason, mine never wants to tab in. I do not know why. It just like really hates me. This thing really likes to be forceful and does not want to get into position. You can see this thing does not want to go into its right position. I just never want to tab in. Never wants to tab in. And if you do tab it in, you got this part problem. So I don't even tab it in at all. So of course that's gonna have to minus the touching points. Just want to clip those in, fold those, and then of course these are little slots that goes into the tab on the wings, which keeps it, together fair enough. And there's little slots for the missiles. And of course, you're gonna fold out the kickstand if you want. And of course, these two have little sculpted in wheels, but the thing doesn't really even roll. Here we have is jet mode, which looks okay. The color scheme, of course, does remind you of Thundercracker. Of course, the design is pretty good. I think it's a Russian jet, if I'm correct. But of course, my plane knowledge is not the best in the world. And of course, it does look very sleek. Of course, one problem I have to do is these little gray parts. I mean, can they just, paint it there or make it blue? Then just paint that? Just seems a little lazy, Hasbro. Pretty lazy. Alright, let's move on. The Decepticon logos on this right here do are kind of reminiscent to the G1 Thundercracker, along with the colors. But I think it would have been cooler if, they did something, similar to Starscream. He had a Decepticon symbol right here, and have a Decepticon symbol, with the Navy logo. Had the Navy logo, but instead of, the usual star, it was the Decepticon logo. I think that would have been neat for this guy. And, of course, the back parts right here looks like thunder, because, his name's Thundercracker. What else would you expect? He stays together fairly decently. Alright. If you flip up the gear... Yeah, like I said, yeah. This unpikes a lot, so that's a problem. The kibble on this guy is not that bad. Of course, he has his giant legs sticking out, his torso. Of course, that's why I like to turn the head around so you don't have to see it. And of course, these little vents, which have no purpose in this mode, which I don't even know why they even bother with those things. I guess so you can, fold them, but might as well just make them a part of his body. Don't even fold in. Don't even collapse them into little jet thrusters, because those will have no place, even though they look cool for a jet like this. Why not just have them have wings? Just regular old wings. That would have been nice. That would have been cool. And the only weapon that he has is, of course, the missiles, which kind of sucks. In terms of altogether, I would give this 7.8. So I would recommend it, but of course, there's a little nitpicks that will, of course, you will not, tiny little nitpick. But then, of course, there's a tabbing issues and it staying together in the jet mode, which I just have to strongly dislike it a little bit. But it is good. The price that you get, I mean, you get a really good jet mode. Playability is okay for the robot mode. The playability for the jet, not so much. So that's basically just going to be the end of this video. And basically almost every single video I'm going to do on like Transformers and toy reviews are just going to be rambling on like tiny little nitpicks and important nitpicks. And of course just saying what's good. Of course the paint job design is pretty good. But of course there's little nitpicks in the, the issues. Like with the robot. Or just like tabbing in. Of course I don't have any trouble with the paint really. Except for these parts. And that's really about it. Overall, this guy is pretty good. I recommend him if you can find him for that fact. And that's basically it for today's video.